Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Card Minerals. Today I'm going to go over the latest Axie Infinity update. I'm going to review some of the things that are in the update and give you my thoughts on that. And I'm going to go over some of the things I'm seeing as a reaction to this update. So this update was released on October 15th, which as of this video release would be a couple days ago. And so this update was teased on October 5th, so about 10 days ago. And I personally thought that this was going to be the balance patch before the start of Season 19. So the official update was released on the 15th, and they're calling this version 1.1.0a, and they have a list of the changes that are happening because of this. So the first change is that Axies will now be reset to level 1 anytime they change owners. This was what they teased. The second update is that challenges are back. Now you can challenge a trainer on your friends list to a friendly duel. This is something I'm excited about, and I'll go over shortly why that is. The third one is the biggest change in my opinion, is that accounts under 800 MMR will no longer receive SLP from Adventure Arena or the daily quest. The next change is that temporarily match history will not be saved on our servers and can only be accessed from the client device with which you played the match. The last one is that we have made a small update to the Ronin Block Explorer and how some addresses are displayed. So now I'm going to break down each of these updates one by one and let you know if I think this is a major update or something minor and what I think the effects of that update is. So the first change is that Axies will now be reset to level 1 anytime they change owners. And they said that this change was made to prevent abuse of the energy system. So how I think this abuse was happening was that someone would have 10 Axies, so they would have 40 energy, and they would play with all their 40 energies. Then when they're done, they would transfer 7 of those Axies to another account for someone else to play with 40 energy. So that way, both of them don't need 10 Axies, and they're able to shift 20 energy around and kind of game the energy system this way. So this change was announced ahead of time to give breeders time to adjust. So what I think was happening here was managers were giving their scholars virgin Axies to play with. The managers would then transfer the Axies out of the account to breed, and after breeding, the manager would place the Axie back into the scholar's account. So before, when they did that, the managers would probably not sync the Axies because they're just using it to breed. If the scholar were using it to play an adventure and level up, this would not disrupt their levels. But now they can't do that. I personally don't think it's a huge change. Managers would need to bring the breeding partner to the scholar's account to breed in and transfer the egg and the original Axie out afterwards. So this is a little bit more hassle. The next update was that challenges are back. You can now challenge a trainer on your friends list to a friendly duel. So this is great news to me. I'm looking forward to challenging some of my friends to friendly duels. I'm also looking forward to playing some of my scholars in friendly duels, and we can also have events in our guild again. So this could be in-house tournaments. We could do like a King of the Hill style, and we could do something that I called a Guppy Gauntlet, which is pretty much a manager versus scholars. I'll set up a time where I'm available, and all the scholars that want to can challenge me, and if they win, they get a prize. And it's just like a fun event, something to kind of break the monotony of just grinding out adventure, grinding out arena. It is a game after all, and they can play against each other. They can also play against the managers, and I think it's a great feature to have back in a game. And also a great note is that this is an excellent way to conduct coaching sessions where the coach can have the student challenge them and then kind of teach them through that, or they could have the student battle someone else and then coach them through the back end. And so instead of using energy, instead of being so high stakes, they have a more relaxed way of actually getting into a battle and coaching. So these are some other changes which I consider minor quality of life. I don't think these are as big as the ones we've been over, and the last one that I'm going to cover, which I think is the biggest change. So the first quality of life is that match history will not be saved on our servers and can only be accessed from the client device which you played the match. This is probably done to help them with the server load as they're adding friendly matches back. So this could actually come into hindrance because I know one of the scholar trackers lets you view matches from your your scholars. So this would kind of prevent that. They made a small update to the Ronin block explorer for how some addresses are displayed. So my guess is that special addresses like the Binance for Binance Ronin transfers or other institutions will have like a special address and show them in a different way, just to let people know when they're transacting with them who they're going with, and to kind of separate those addresses from everyday personal wallets. So this is the biggest update. Accounts under 800 MMR will no longer receive SLP from a venture, arena, or the daily quest. So prior to this update, players under 800 MMR will still earn nothing from arena wins, but they can still earn the SLP from daily quests and adventure mode, so that can be up to 75 SLP a day. And so with this update, those same players now earn 0. And the way they would have to get around this is they would have to play arena. Hopefully they have a team good enough to win enough matches to get past 800 MMR. And then they would do that first. And once they're over 800, then they would stop playing arena and then go on to do the adventure mode and the daily quest. Jiho added some insight to this update, which is very much appreciated. So he says that almost all bots from their data were less than 800 MMR and queuing against other bots in PvP. And this takes away from SLP and the real effort that all the players put into earning that SLP. The second reason why this was done was to encourage players to learn the game and actually be better in arena, and for scholarships to focus on teaching and educating. So this also ensures that scholarships are recruiting the best scholars and making sure they have the right knowledge and equipment. This was also done for the long-term health of the community economy. There will be things he kind of hints at in the future, such as crafting, burning, and decks to balance the economy, and SLP and access won't be the only things. So reactions to this update that I think will happen or is already happening is that SLP minting will slow down, and this will depend on how bad the bot problem was. I don't have any of this data. I'm not sure if the team has shared it, but it must be bad enough that they want to put these limits in, and also from them to reduce the adventure and daily quests SLP rewards from a prior update. And I think this might get SLP prices to increase, because if we're minting less SLP, there's less of it to go around, and because there's less of it, there's less supply, and this will cause it to go up. However, I'm not sure if SLP prices will increase too much, because if there's not enough people breeding, there's not enough demand to suck up the supply, so it might not affect at all. And why I don't think people are breeding as much, as there's going to be more risk if you hit a mutt, which I'll cover in the next section. I do think that this is a short-term solution to SLP growth and surplus, and I think Jiho mentioned this as much, or maybe hinted at it between the lines. In the future, an Axie sync, which would be a way to release Axies or another way to use Axies or SLP, would be needed to kind of balance the economy and kind of get demand up. Reaction that I've seen to this is that the floor Axies should drop in price, and I think this is because the scholarship programs that were targeting people to just get the minimum 75 SLP a day are dumping their Axies, because they don't believe that these Axies can get them over 800 MMR. So the floor dropped to 0.037 ETH from 0.047 ETH, which is a 0.01 ETH decrease. With the current rate of Ethereum, that's about $38. But because of the recent pump to Ethereum and Ether, this might be just coming down, because most of the times Axies has been pegged to the US dollar value. So because Ethereum went on a run, it costs less ETH to get the same dollar amount. So that could be some of that. But I do think a portion of this price drop is due to this recent update. So what are the effects of floor Axies dropping? Breeding is even riskier now, because if you do hit a mutt, they're worth less, and this will lower the already slim margins. And the second effect of this change, I think this is an opportunity for scholarship managers that have some ETH around and they want to sweep the floor. So this opportunity means that they would find 7 floor Axies and buy them up, and they would give it to the highest earning scholar to get them from 20 energy to 40 energy and basically double their earnings. And this right now with the 0.037 floor would cost around 0.26 ETH. So this doesn't cost too much more than a decent starter team at around, I would say, anywhere from 0.19 to 0.25 ETH. So some overall thoughts before I wrap up. I do believe this patch was necessary if the bot issue was rampant. This is a big problem because the devs have always stated that an Axie's value comes from the SLP used to breed it. And SLP is proof of work that someone spent time playing the game. So if they let this slide and the bots are creating SLP, this goes against their whole philosophy and would decrease in Axie's value. I think this was a good short-term solution to that. So currently, battling is the only way to earn tokens in this game. And I know that access staking, you can earn tokens, but you need to have some tokens first, right? You need to have access to stake access. So SLP is pretty much the only true way for someone to get in this game and earn it. And if a bot is earning it way too easily or way too much, I could see how they need to put a curb to that. With land gameplay coming up and the crafting that Jiho mentioned, it's opened up some more opportunities to earn. There will be less of a PvP or arena focus, so people who don't have that competitive nature can still play this game and still earn and make a living off of it. And the last thing is, it seems like the team is putting the responsibility as of right now on the scholarship guilds, teams, and content creators to educate and teach others to play this game. I think I saw a tweet from Zyori that the team is working on tutorial or a guided gameplay version of this, which will help onboard more people in this, but I think it's still in development, and right now the team is leaning on the scholarship guilds and teams and content creators, and there are some great ones out there. Off the top of my head, like Indez, I like Elijah, Bryson has some good videos. Okay, so that's it for my thoughts on the videos. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you agree with my thoughts? Do you not agree with them? Please leave a comment below and let me know. If you want more Axie content, please check out this video on my 5 favorite Axie tools.